Hello everyone, I'm Aditya Jain and today we are going to see how we can build a chart on top of a dataset in Domo. Now, charts or visualizations in Domo are known as cards, and conceptually, how it works in Domo is you create a card, a visualization, uh, mostly on top of a dataset or a dataset view. I mean, it has to be a data source which has to power your visualization card. There could be text card, which are or notebooks which are an exception, but otherwise a card or a chart, a typical chart, would have an underlying data set or data source rather powering it. Okay, now to create a chart, what we need to do is to get onto a data set. Like now there are a couple of other ways to build a chart. I mean, couple of other ways you could navigate to the analyzer. Okay, but what I'm showing right now over here is how you can do it from a dataset. Cool. So you need to go to the dataset overview. You need to click on this create a visualization option. Click on this and your analyzer loads. Now what is analyzer? Analyzer is your chart builder in Domo. Basically, all your cards are built within analyzer. So this is your arena, your analyzer. And as you can see, the canvas has been loaded with a suggestion from Domo. It's just a suggestion. You can change the access or the entire chart type as per your need. Now, this has been loaded by Domo by default, and you can see there are a lot of options at the top. Starting from here, so you are on the visualization canvas. You can click on data to just see. This is the a view built on top of your data set. Now, this is just for This is a view built on top of your dataset for viewing what your data looks like, or you can also create a dataset view from here. But in our discussion today, we'll just be focusing on the visualization part. Okay. So first option over here is dataset. So if you toggle this, you see that your data set and the columns field disappears. So this button is to switch this particular pane. The second one is lineage or lineage. It shows you how your data has been moving. So here we can see that our underlying data set, this particular transformed sales by store data set, is built on top of these two underlying data sets. Okay. Next one is the data table. Now you can toggle this and this brings up the data table over here. Okay. Another option is filter and sort. You see this filter and sort pane. So you can toggle this visible or hidden using this button. The next one is properties. Now before we go to properties, filter and sort. Now this filters and sort pane is used to apply filters or apply sorting or ordering to your visualization. And obviously limit rows, as it says, you can limit the total number of rows that you want to show on your final chart or card. Okay. Now next is the properties. Now properties are the chart properties. Like for example, mm, you want to show numbers on top of your chart or not, right? Or let's say you want to um, abbreviate the numbers or change the label style. Let's say you want it to be uh, italicized. Okay. Italics doesn't make sense over here, I guess, because these are all numbers. So let's say what you want to show as text. I select I want to show a value. Right now, let's say what should be the text color. Now, if you want the text color should be gray, yeah, you click this and you see the text change to gray. And yes, obviously you can see now the numbers are italicized. Then if you want the chart to use the scale abbreviation, just toggle this. Now you see all the numbers, the wide numbers are changed to abbreviated forms. Okay, so all sort of options you can find under this properties section. So go ahead and check it for yourself. Explore this analyzer. It's got a lot of things. Now next is controls. So this controls angle would come in when we use variables. So this discussion in this discussion we are not going to talk about variables, so we'll park it for now. The other option is color rules. So yes, you can apply your color rules over here. Okay, now let's say I have three items over here, but what the value I'm showing is total sales. I want to put a condition that if total sales is greater than or equal to 0, show it in green. If my total sales is less than 0, show it in, let's say, red. Okay, apply to this card. Oh, coincidentally, they are all greater than 0, so they are all red. Sorry, green. Let's take another example. Let's say in store yes and no. For yes, let us take green. For in store y as n, let us take red. Okay, yeah, you see. Then is your auto preview. Now, this is quite a useful feature. For example, you are working with a lot of data set. Sorry, a data set which contains a lot of rows, and so this is an important feature. So what happens is you want to build a chart. Let's say there are a number of properties that you need to apply, add, remove, anything, which means a lot of processing has to be done. Now, what happens is as soon as you apply some change over here, this chart canvas reloads. Okay, for example, if you have to apply certain various properties at once, so what happens in that case is the canvas keeps on reloading. This might slow down your development pace. So what we can do is we can turn off this auto preview. You can apply whatever changes you want to do and preview all of them at once. So that way this is a very useful tool. Next is tooltips. So tooltips are settings. Let's say when you hover over here, what you see is January 2019 and n, because this series is yes, no, n, and the value, which is the sum total. Now, let's say you want to show additional information which is not present in one of these access or series over here. You can do this using the tooltip field. For example, I want to show the order quantity, the sum of orders. Okay. So what I can do here is I can go to my hover settings, hover text. I can show, let's say, um, the tooltip macro. This is the tooltip. Click on tooltip, field 1. Now if I hover on this, what you see is the macro, the actual uh, sum of orders. Okay, and you can format it like sum of orders is this is this. Let's see, total sales is your value, basically your y-axis. So this, and now have a look at this. And you hover, yeah, total sales is this, and sum of orders is this. So as simple as that, right? Now this was all about tooltips. Let's come to chart types now. As it suggests, you have a lot of chart types available here to pick and choose from. Let's say the default selection here is a bar chart. Now I don't want to see yes and no stacked on top of each other. Rather, I want to see them grouped. I just click on this group bar, and you see they are now coming adjacent to each other instead of stacked one on top of the other, right? Likewise, you have a number of chart options over here. So you have a pie chart. Let's say you want to show transactions by month. Okay, so this can be done using a pie chart, and one of our favorites is a table, right? You can use a table chart to show all your numbers. So there are a lot of charts over here. Do explore them, go through them, and um, check for yourself whatever capability Domo has to offer. Okay. These are annotations which are disabled right now. We can talk about annotations later in next few minutes. So let us park it for now. The other thing is a beast mode. Now, a beast mode is a calculated field basically. Okay, so whatever is not coming from your data source, you are adding that field, a calculated field on top, or additional field over here. You want to add that field, it could be done using the beast mode, right? It's really simple to use. You need to click on add a calculated field. You are here. You need to type a SQL like formula, and you have these many functions available to be added, to be used. Now, coming over here, let's say we have a transaction date. Now, let's say I want to extract year out of transaction date. Okay, how I can do this is year transaction date. Okay, I'll save this to the data set. I'll give it a name as years or transaction year. Rather. Okay, validate, fine, create a calculated field. Now I have got this transaction here, year over here. Let me pull this up. Okay, so it seems that I have just 2019 data. Let me change this to, let's say, transaction month. Instead of this, I'll type month name. No, not month, rather month name. Okay, this, and you can yeah, see the month name coming over here. Okay, now let's say I want to concatenate the month number with month name. What I can do is concat month of transaction date delimited by, or separated by rather, a dash and the month name, right? Validate, save, and now you see, great, you have a month number associated with each month. So this is how you use beast mode. You can check the available functions over here, and you can see the function description and the sample usage as well below, and you can use them, right? The next thing what we have over here is a segment. Now, a segment is used to basically divide your data or create groups in your data, and then visualize the data grouped by those segments. Okay. And now this is a bit deep concept, so I won't be covering it now. We'll have a separate video created for discussing variables, beast modes, and segments in detail. So please stay tuned for that video. And for now, I'll just give this a pass, and we'll go ahead with our chart development. Okay. Now, when we come over here, let's say I want to go ahead with a group bar. So once I'm sure that my chart is ready and I want to save it, okay, before we delve or before we go there, another option over here is undo and redo. So you can undo your actions. See, I changed my table to uh, a group bar. I hit undo button and it is now table again. Let's say I want to redo it so that it becomes a group bar again. So we have a redo button. It is now a group bar. Now, okay, I see annotations active over here. So let's check. So for example, I want to put an annotation over here on main. So I just click over here and type check the data for the month. I've successfully added an annotation over here. When you hover on this, you see uh, we have successfully added an annotation over here. You can see the comment below, check the data for the month of May, right? Cool. So we have seen undo, redo, we have seen annotations. Next is this date time picker. Now, this comes a lot handy. For example, see, you have transaction date in our x-axis or the category axis. Now, I have grouped the graph by month. Let's say if I want to group the graph by week, I just click on this and you see week 1, week 3, week 5, week 7. Domo automatically groups it by weeks. Okay, but I'll switch it back to, or let's say I want it to be by quarter. You see 4 quarters coming up over here. Now, other option that you see over here is date filter. Like whenever this card is being filtered, sorry, the date range field. So whenever the card is being viewed, which is its default date range field. Okay. So right now, I think I have only uh, transaction date in my data set. Yes, I guess I have only transaction date in my data set. Uh, but otherwise, what happens is if you have multiple dates in your data set, whichever date you use in one of your axes becomes the default date range selection. If you have multiple dates in the axis somehow, you get a choice to pick the date range field. Else, like in our case right now, we have only one transaction date, so we don't have any choice. We have to go by that. Okay. Now you can apply various sorts of filter over here. Date filter, you have these many options to choose from. You also have an option to use a fiscal calendar. Okay. And you have an option to do a compare to, and these options are not available over here because we don't fulfill certain criteria which is required, like we have to first select a period over period chart from the chart type, but we are using a group bar. And second is we have to select time between the date range drop down. Okay, so I think once we select a period over period chart, the other option also gets enabled, right? So you can play around this section as well to see how it works for you. Next is the summary number, right? So a summary number, as the name suggests, is a small summary that appears on the top left. Okay. Now you have these many options over here. Here, either you use the current value. Okay. Uh, so these are the settings that actually apply on this current value. So when you click on current value, you choose to get what is the value you want to show. Uh, the date field over here is transaction date, and the sort which is applied is last. So probably what you are looking at is the sum total of the quarter four, 6787 plus 7249, yes, which is roughly 14K, right? So this is the value. This is how you can show the current value. Let's say you want to show all values. When you click on all values, what you can do is you can pick the value that you want to show, and it will be shown in totality, the entire value. And obviously, uh, these values respect the filters that are applied to them. So whenever you apply any filter, these values also get filtered automatically. So let's say what I want to show is the total sales. So I just select total sales, and the aggregation what I want to do is sum. All right, and the text that I want to display over here is just total sales. I don't want some total sales. I change this and I get okay. For example, if you don't want to show any summary number, you just click on this and we are done. No more summary numbers. In our case, I would like to show this particular one. We're good here. Now, once you are ready, once you are sure that you have built your chart, what you can do is save as, give your card a title. The title could be okay. So let's say sales by water. Okay. Now here you see certain options like smart text. So when you click on this, it allows you to put variables, segments, or some metadata info on your chart label, so that whenever you apply some filter, your chart label changes dynamically, or it shows the date range of your data what you are viewing. Okay. Or it shows you your data set metadata, like when was it last updated, who owns the data, etc. Okay. You can explore this and see. It will be really fun to make your titles dynamic and use them. Okay. So for our example, let's say I'll just use date range. Date range over here. And no, not date range would be a good idea. For example, let us say filters for yes, no. Okay, let's say in store, yes, no. Select in store, yes, no. Okay. Or I can put a default text quarter for, okay, sorry, prefix as quarter four, value for all, okay, apply. I save this chart. So you need to publish your chart somewhere, right? It could be on your overview, on your other pages. Like I have a lot of pages over here. Let's say I want to put this chart on this particular page. I save this and my chart development is complete. Okay, I close this. We are here. I just want to view my card. So I just click on this. Right, we are here. We are viewing our card. If you want to edit the card, again you can click on this analyzer option. You can get into the card uh, and edit it. Basically, it will take you to the analyzer. Right. So now our chart is ready. As you can see, you have some insights coming up for this chart presented by Domo automatically. You can see the outliers that you have in your data and certain other statistics. So if you want to hide this, you just toggle this, and this won't appear for non-card owners. You can toggle this as well. Now there are a few other options on top of the chart here. So this one is opening a conversation. It is opening the buzz around this chart. Okay. Um, this particular is to invite someone to view this card. This is to take a snapshot or create another chart annotation. All right. Now let's say you want to take a snapshot of this card, and let's say want your team to study these numbers. That why is the quarter one so high? So what you can do is you can encircle it like this. You can put your text, for example, like this: study the Q1 numbers. Okay, and you can either download it or share it with your team over bus. Right. Next one is to share your card. You click on this. You can share it with other people. Save a copy of this card. Send or export it either as an email, print it out, take a CSV, PowerPoint, or Excel dump. Okay. Other options are obviously submitted to the App Store or embed card. These are a little advanced features, so you can park them for now and just explore the other options. Next option is a chart picker. Now, this is a beautiful feature by Domo. So, what happens is when you are viewing this chart, right, and let's say you feel that this is not the best way to visualize the chart, and you want to see the chart chart stacked on top of the bars stacked on top of the other, you can click on this chart picker and click on the stacked bar, right? Or if you want to visualize this chart horizontally, click on the horizontal group bar or horizontal stacked bar, or view it as a donut or a pie chart. Now the beauty of this feature is this won't persist over here. As soon as you refresh or you're out of the screen, you will be taken back to the default or the original chart how it was built, and your viewing will not impact other users, right? So this is the chart picker feature. The next feature is setting alerts. Again, alerts is alerts feature is again a little bit technical and deep, so we'll have another session for this, but I just want to show that you can set alerts on top of your charts using this. The next is your analyzer, which we have already spoken about. And the last option over here is your card options. So there are a lot of options over here. First one is again editing it in the analyzer. Second is history to see who has changed your cards in the past. So if I click on history, there was only one uh, save which we had done, which was the initial card, right? We haven't made any other updates over here, but you can track all the logs, all the histories here. The other um, options that we have over here is our drill path. So we'll cover drill path in the next video. It is also a bit deep and technical thing and requires a separate entire video to be made on top of them, right? And there are lot many options down below. So what we'll do is we'll park the discussion about chart creation here, and we'll discuss these options along with drill downs in our next video. So guys, stay tuned to the channel for more updates on Domo and business intelligence. I hope you learned something out of this particular video, and we intend to build similar videos in the future. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. Bye.